the young and the restless spoilers. In the heart of Genoa City, a thick veil of tension settled over the residents as the investigation into Heather's shocking death unfolded. Despite the police presenting compelling evidence against Daniel, a heavy cloud of disbelief hung over the community. Friends and family alike rallied around him, unwilling to accept the notion that he could have committed such a grave crime. The whispers in the air suggested something more sinister at play, but the spotlight of suspicion, it seemed, would soon shift elsewhere. Sharon, an ever-calculating figure, sensed the opportunity in the chaos surrounding Daniel. With the community's disbelief in the face of evidence, she orchestrated a cunning diversion, redirecting suspicion toward Phyllis. It was a perilous game, one that could potentially unravel lives, yet Sharon thrived in these murky waters. She knew that Phyllis's tumultuous history of reckless behavior made her an easy target. But could anyone truly believe that a mother could kill her own daughter-in-law? As whispers grew louder, Phyllis remained blissfully unaware of the trap that Sharon had meticulously laid for her. Busy navigating her daily life, she was determined to gather evidence to prove Sharon's guilt, completely oblivious to the fact that she was the one ensnared in a dangerous game of manipulation. Her focus narrowed, fueled by a mixture of anger and desperation to clear her name. Phyllis believed that exposing Sharon as the true killer was within her grasp, but the fates had conspired against her. The irony of the situation weighed heavily on her. While she had crafted a reputation for being fierce and uncompromising, her efforts to distance herself from Heather's murder only placed her further in harm's way. With each passing day, the atmosphere grew thicker with suspicion, and Phyllis began to feel the noose tightening around her. She was enraged, realizing that her own history was being weaponized against her. But the harder she fought to prove her innocence, the more the narrative twisted, pulling her deeper into the clutches of a well-orchestrated plan. Meanwhile, Daniel had a circle of loyal friends and allies supporting him. They believed in his innocence and were prepared to defend him against the mounting accusations. But Phyllis was isolated, left to fend for herself. Her reputation as a woman with a propensity for violence only fueled the flames of doubt surrounding her. With each accusation, the facade of support around her crumbled, leaving her standing alone in the shadows of suspicion. Sharon's strategy was unfolding flawlessly. The more Phyllis searched for evidence to incriminate Sharon, the more she unwittingly highlighted her own guilt. The police, already tipped off about Phyllis's history of dubious dealings, were soon knocking at her door. Phyllis's expertise in fabricating evidence, once a means of survival, became the very thing that could seal her fate. The townspeople, who once held a begrudging respect for her cunning, began to turn their backs, convinced that she was guilty of the crime they could not comprehend. As the investigation deepened, Sharon watched with a cold satisfaction. Her plot had not only diverted the blame from Daniel but had also positioned herself as an unassuming figure in a drama far greater than her own. The fear that gripped Phyllis only fueled Sharon's resolve. This was her chance to reclaim power in a world that had often marginalized her. The question loomed in the air: would Sharon's devious plan succeed in its entirety? Would Phyllis, in her desperate quest for freedom, manage to turn the tables and expose Sharon for the manipulative force she truly was? As the police began to close in on Phyllis, the tension reached a boiling point. In a town rife with secrets and hidden motives, nothing was ever as it seemed. Phyllis, with her back against the wall, would have to make a choice: to confront the looming threats head-on or to succumb to the shadows that had enveloped her. In a battle where alliances could shift like sand, and truths were obscured by lies, the stage was set for a confrontation that could change the lives of everyone involved. With the specter of Heather's death casting a long shadow over their lives, the stakes were higher than ever. The delicate dance of deception continued, and as Phyllis realized the depths of her predicament, the question remained: could she untangle the web of lies before it consumed her completely? In Genoa City, where trust was a currency and betrayal a common theme, the next move would determine not just her fate, but the fate of those around her as well.